Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. How much impact, or what type of season I'm going to say, will Alex Highsmith have in 2023? Alex Highsmith is a very, very underrated player. We've seen it last year too when he didn't get a Pro Bowl selection. I don't know if he got any All-Pro votes. Most likely he didn't, probably. But he didn't get a Pro Bowl selection. He should have been warranted that because he did have some great numbers that can match against any of those guys that was in the Pro Bowl. And he also was tied first with 5 forced fumbles. So he should have got an opportunity to get a Pro Bowl selection like that. I know the Pro Bowl is a little different, but still, you'll think that they'll select based off talent. But I guess since they had Tyler Huntley and all type of people in the Pro Bowl, so the Pro Bowl kind of lost its value a little bit. But I feel like Alex Highsmith, if he didn't get any All-Pro votes, he should have got a few like that. I don't know if I don't know if he made the team or not, but he should at least got a few All-Pro votes because he did have an amazing season and a big-time breakout season. And he's very underrated. But he would be paid big time. Most likely, I don't know if they're still going to pay him before the summer because Minka Fitzpatrick, they paid him more like that before the summer came. And TJ Watt, same thing. I don't know if Alex Highsmith will get paid before the summer. They'll wait till after this season. But what's the J. Cole lyrics? What is it? Things have been the same for young Jermaine, still underrated, but far from underpaid. Alex Highsmith might be underrated, but after you get that big paycheck, that big payday, he won't be underpaid anymore. He has developed well, and the Steelers do a great job with their edge rushers and developing like those pass rushers like that. Steelers, the main thing when you come to Pittsburgh, they're going to gather the quarterback and they're going to try to run that football. And they always had great edge rushers and linebackers in the front seven, basically in general. Always had great players around that, from the Jack Lamberts, from Mean Joe Green, who I believe is the best Steeler of all time, from James Harrison, TJ Watt now, all type of guys in that front like that play very, very good football. I think Alex Highsmith is on his way to that type of stardom. I know you still got to do it again next year because you can't just have one superstar big time year. You got to do it again next year like that so it's not a fluke and so it can be replicated or duplicated. And I think he'll be able to prove that, especially now too with the full healthy team, because some people might say, well, he had TJ Watt on one side like that. TJ Watt was gone for like 9 or 10 games last year, and Alex Highsmith was a driving force. Even that first game when TJ Watt was there, Alex Highsmith had 4.5 sacks. He had 4 sacks that game right there by himself. And then he continued to just be the driving force and continue to get pressures and stuff. And his technique is very good too. That spin move that he do is very cool. He's a big force to be reckoned with. He can bull rush some of those linemen, and he also can hit that little spin technique. His footwork is amazing and stuff, and you just see his improvement. If you go back and watch him his rookie year when he was behind Bud Dupree and TJ, he was getting a little bit of time here and there. He had 2 sacks that year. I think one of them came the last game of the season with the Browns like that. It was mostly after Bud Dupree tore his ACL, and he was out for the season. And then we see in the following year, Alex Highsmith take charge and be one of the guys. He had 6 sacks that year, and TJ Watt had that monster year where it was 22.5. Should have been the record because they said Tyler Huntley gave himself up or something like that. They said something, regular tackle, but that should have been a sack right there. But the following year after that, he had 14.5 sacks, which was number 5 on the sack leader list in 2022. And he also had 5 forced fumbles, which was number 1, tied with number 1. He was just playing amazing football. He was just a relentless force, and I think this year going to have a little easier. He might put up around the same numbers. I think we have some more stretch sacks as well, because you're looking at it like TJ Watt is fully healthy, and Alex Highsmith is fully healthy out there too. Cam Hayward and all these guys who got Larry OG. It's going to be very tough for some teams to decide, like, double team TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith one-on-one by himself too. I'm gonna double team Alex Highsmith this time, and then TJ Watt by himself. So it's gonna be very difficult for you to decide. And that's why I love that Alex Highsmith emerged to this type of player, because now it's gonna make it very difficult for defenses to try to guard. I mean, not defenses, offenses to try to stop us from getting in, and then make our defense even make more splash plays. Because last year we seen a lot of splash plays made. They had led the league in interceptions, but they had 16 of them. I believe so, 15 or 16 in the league in interceptions, because the pass rush brought so much pressure in and got so much pressure in, especially when TJ Watt came back off of injury. We was able to help our DBs in the backfield. And when you have a guy like Minka Fitzpatrick, who I believe is the best safety, free safety or strong safety, best safety in general in the league, back there, and you get to give him like extra help and stuff like that, it's gonna be crazy. And Patrick Peterson on that outside now too. He's a veteran presence, a leader out there too. JPJ is going to be nice too as well. It's going to be nice to see how these players are going to play together. But I think Alex Highsmith is going to have the biggest impact on defense. That's my pick right there. I know it's a dark horse like pick, but I think he'll have the biggest impact on defense because he's going to first of all, in the contract year, because if you don't get paid before the summer, most likely it might wait till after like that. So he kind of in the contract year. So he try to build himself up and get that big time contract, and also just to prove himself right. He didn't get any Pro Bowls like on selections last year like that, even though he had 14.5 sacks. You'd think that he'll be like, oh, he'd be up there because he was the driving force of the Steelers defense, making big time plays, but he didn't get any of that. He was kind of like overlooked and stuff. So he probably got a chip on his shoulder, something to prove like that, prove himself right, prove that he is on his way to superstardom. And I think he's going to do that next season, had a big impact. I'm predicting probably 15 sacks, 7 forced fumbles this time. 15 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, and an All-Pro selection. Second team All-Pro. I'm thinking that we might. Hey, I know I might be overdoing it a little bit, but we might if he can put up the same numbers he put up last year, maybe add a little extra to it, and TJ Watt put up the numbers he usually put up, like the 16 plus sacks to get. We might have 2 All-Pro edge rushers. You never know. It could happen. Definitely Pro Bowlers. Hopefully they don't snub them again. But we might have 2 All-Pro edge rushers. They can play like that, and we have a good record too. Cause they look by record as well. They're like, okay, this guy played very, very good. His record is good too, like that. Sometimes they might look at his record if you play very, very dominant. Like you go out there, like their record is 7 and 10, but he had 20 sacks. We got to put him on the list like that. But if you have a good record and you play like 14, 15 sacks, I think he should be able to get on one of the teams. You never know. I know it's an early call, but I'm thinking we might have maybe 4 All-Pros in his team like that. If everybody can play, if Alex Highsmith can duplicate what he did last year, and TJ Watt plays like he usually plays, of course. Cam Hayward, same thing, and Minkah Fitzpatrick, those guys might be all 4 All-Pros on one team. The 49ers had a lot of All-Pros last year on team too, but I think our defense might have 4 All-Pros like that in the making because this defense is very good. We added depth. The defense is very hungry, a young talent as well, and this youth. The defense is not just good, but it's youthful too. We got a lot of young players ready to make a statement and ready to go out there and shine. I think Alex Highsmith going to be leading that pack and make the most impact next year for the Steelers. Even though with TJ Watt and Minkah, I think he's going to have a bigger impact. They still going to have a big impact, of course, too. At this rate, TJ Watt is going to be a Hall of Famer. And then Minkah Fitzpatrick, he got 3 first-team All-Pros. He's on his way to Hall of Fame stardom, too, as well. But I think Alex Highsmith next year is going to have a bigger impact like that. It might be crazy for me to say that, like that, but I have a lot of trust in Alex Highsmith and just watching his development. If you go back and see some of his rookie year stuff, his second year stuff, and then last year what he did, you see a lot of big time improvement. They're like big, they're not just like small little steps, it's like big leaps. You're like, okay, and then another big leap, okay. So I think his next big leap, hopefully, is to stardom like that. But let me know in the comment section down below who you think who's gonna have the most impact on the team next year. Let me know if it's a dark horse pick like mine, or is it somebody who you just think will be TJ Watt or Minkah or somebody like that. Let me know down below. I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.